Okay, another one today. We are talking with Justin. Justin, welcome to Be Relentless Method client interview. We have been working together for like around 3 months now, uh, maybe a little bit over 3 months. And I just created this little channel of building awareness for everyone, not only salespeople, but everyone that is in sales, even entrepreneurs, any type of high performers, sales managers, um, just to understand that not everything is a skill. Skill is definitely important in one's career and one's results, but there is way more beyond that. And we're going to touch on that point very shortly with you because I would like you to share your story. And if we were to start, can you just introduce yourself first to everyone? Who you are? What do you do? What is your main occupation? And we'll take it from there.
Sure, appreciate that. Well, good to good to be here, mate. Well, obviously my name's Justin. I'm based in Australia, Perth, Western Australia. So I've been in the remote sales space for just over 3 years now. I
Mhm.
currently manage a sales team. What we do is we teach people how to flip real estate. That's the offer that I'm on currently. So manage a team of seven. Currently close deals myself. And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and I remember our first conversation when we first met, when you reached out and about a possibility to understand if I can help you somehow and maybe we can work somehow in a certain way. And I remember you told me in that moment that you were in a pretty, let's say, consistent and pretty actually stable financial situation. The results were great, but something was missing. So, what was the situation in that moment, and uh, what was the main reason that you reached out in the first place?
Good question. So I guess what attracted me to yourself was that I could see it was a different level of coaching. It wasn't just another sales coaching program to work on the skill set. It was more to do with the mindset and the way that we actually perceive our own train of thoughts and our prospects, and I guess a different way of thinking, something that I haven't really spent too much time on specifically to work on. So I first came to you with the intention of reaching that next level for myself, whatever that would be, right? Which naturally, obviously, my main goal is to make more money, to go from what I was earning at the time to what I want to be earning, right? And I felt like working with yourself was going to be able to help me get there. But you know what I thought I was there for was not just what I actually ended up working on with you and gaining. I've gained a whole lot more.
Yeah, let's go from from the start. What were the problems that you were facing at that moment? You had a pretty solid career. You were uh, generating pretty good revenue for yourself. But what were the problems? What was happening?
Well, so at the time, I was so first coming in speaking with yourself. So at the time, I was making 30 to 40K per month, which allows me to live a good life, right? I can't complain about that. And you know, for most people, they're happy with that. But you know, I just want to keep pushing. I want more, right? So for me, one of the roadblocks and the problems that I had experienced once reaching that point was that feeling of being able to sustain it. So, for example, when I hit my first 40K month, I experienced, which delving into it deeper with yourself later on, it was self-sabotage to follow that. and hence the feeling that I had to flow on was that I was not able to actually continue to achieve that, and my performance had dipped. So the main challenge that I had before coming with yourself was to be able to sustain what I was doing and stay. Sorry, I missed that. What was that?
And consistency into the
Yeah,
results that you already can do.
exactly. Exactly. To keep focused, to stay level and just stay detached from the outcome. That was, yeah, one of the biggest challenges.
And how was that self-sabotage manifesting in your career, in your day-to-day? What was actually happening?
Well, unconsciously I was showing up to calls not wanting to be there. And it didn't make sense, right? Because I just come off the back of one of my best months, and crossing over into the new month, I didn't want to be taking calls. So I was kind of battling myself in a way to continue the momentum, and it just didn't seem easy. That there was friction for whatever reason, which there shouldn't have been.
Yeah. So, but not many people understand that our nervous system will allow us to operate in a certain level uh, just as much as it feels safe to operate. The unconscious mind is kind of like habitual being where we, based on our beliefs and based on our values, if we believe that we are worthy of 40K per month and nothing more, on a very unconscious level, the moment when you start going over that, it's unsafe, it's new, it's unknown, and starts creating those habitual, automatic sabotaging patterns where you say consciously, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing this. And why is this? And creates that inner conflict. And it starts until you start dripping down and you hit like a certain rock bottom and you wake up like, oh, fuck, I have done only 5K this month. Let me push right now hard and go back again. And when you reach 40K again, that self sabotage kicks in again, which is not a really pleasant place to be. What would you say about it?
It's definitely not a pleasant place to be. We don't want to be there, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you wanted to take it to the next level. You've been previously working with many different coaches and you have invested in, let's say, skill level, but something was missing. So what did you discover about yourself throughout our journey first? What was the first awareness that you build up before we talk about the change and what happened after that?
I guess discovering more about what motivates me and what's important to me. So family is important to me, and being able to provide a good life for my family, for myself, to live life to the fullest. But I also found that I was also highly motivated by making the money itself. So one of the main things that I've discovered with you through the work that we've done is to be in a state of gratitude, and to be happy with what we have, just being present in the moment, and not relying on other things in order to create that happiness for myself, whether it's closing a deal and making X amount of commission. Whether or not that happens, I'm still going to be happy at the end of the day.
Many people find this contradictive. They were like, how can I be happy if I'm not closing the deals? That will not want to push me forward. I need to find rage. I need to find anger. I need to be afraid and run away from this pain so I can actually succeed. Many people are having that delusional type of thoughts, right? They think that they should work hard and suffer, then they will succeed, and only then they will be happy, which in reality is completely opposite. If you do manage to maintain calm, peaceful, joyful environment within, you'll be able to work harder. You're not going to self-sabotage, and then it's not going to even feel hard, which means you're going to work more productively, and only then success will going to follow, whatever success it is. Now, when we think about that, we needed to work on many different blockages. We had to work on many different, let's say, negative emotions that you were facing this. What made the difference? What made that first kind of change for you to realize, oh, now something is different. I operate from a different operational system.
So many things. A lot of different things, but I guess just understanding more about the way that we perceive things in life, right? We create our own emotions, right? It's not, someone can say something negative to you, but we decide whether or not we attach a negative emotion to what they've said. So what I've learned and what's allowed me to stay present in the moment, be happy regardless of any outcome in my life, and show up to each day feeling calm and in a good state, or in the state that I want to be, is is to just know and understand that regardless of what's going to happen throughout the day, I'm still grateful for what I have. So,
But how easy was that for you? Even consciously, you knew that that's true. How easy was that for you to do it before we met, before we started working on it?
well, harder than you would think, right? It sounds simple, but it's not always that simple. It's not always easy.
Yeah. The main thing is that you get it now. You understand it now. The perspective have changed, but it's a result of a little bit of deeper work that we did, that we changed and rewired the whole belief system and releasing the negative residue that was actually dictating your self-sabotage. So even though you consciously, I know these type of things, I should be this way, it was not happening because unconscious mind, that 95% of everything that we do throughout the day is autopilot, it's habitual, and it's going to take you to what you actually believe. Now, many people say, oh, it takes years, to process emotions. It will take a long time to actually shift the belief. Is that true, Justin? Like, I just gonna ask you based on what we've done.
Well, as you said, we've been working with each other for just over 3 months, and definitely hasn't taken longer than that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Which event, well, like, let's say, which session do you think it was the most kind of transformative for you? If you were to separate one session out of it.
I'd say understanding the meaning making process,
Hmm.
that was an eye opener. Understanding the way that we process things in life and internalize the way beliefs are formed. That stands out, but also there was a session where we worked on targeting deep beliefs within myself and eliminating them. It was like a 3 hour long
Yeah.
session that we had.
It was
So
a
that
timeline
was,
therapy where we actually worked with each negative emotion separately and literally deleting that negative charge since the moment when you were born until that day. How did
Mhm.
that feel? Like, it was 3 hour session, and but how did it feel at the end? Like, what were the results?
I guess it felt coming out of it just bit of relief. Just feeling a bit feeling like having let go of certain thoughts and feelings, right? Like you don't realize what you're carrying until it's gone, right? So by the end of that, having gone through what we went through, feeling feeling in a calm state and feeling with less weight on emotional weight on myself, it was an eye opener essentially.
Yeah, and since then, and I mean, a lot of work that we've done. In meanwhile, we're not going to discuss everything. We don't have pretty much enough time and go into details. But what changed? Like, what changed within you, and what changed when it comes to your day to day, your behaviors, your emotions, and what shifted?
I'm just a happier person. I'm just happy, man. I'd say every day I'm happy, but I'm also confident, right? Confidence is very important in the work that we do. I've always been a confident person, I believe, but I guess this is a new level of confidence because I know within myself, like I have my own beliefs, new beliefs, and I don't care about what anyone says or what happens, like external events in my life, because I know that I can handle it when those challenges arise. So it's just a new wave of confidence, peace, calm, happiness, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and how did that reflected in your performance? What type of results did you get since you started being that new, changed, more confident person?
Well, they went up. So, from an income perspective, it went up, but that was a result of me showing up in a better state, right? Not just on calls with prospects, but also for my team because I'm showing up to each morning on our sales team meetings. I'm showing up more present, happier, more confident, and I believe that that's a flow-on effect to my salespeople.
Yeah,
And as a result, they're performing better, and we're performing better as a team. So it's not just about the income, the commissions. It's also about impacting other people. Like I feel, even if let's say I don't close someone, I don't close a deal when I'm on a call with a prospect, I still walk away from that conversation having made an impact with them because I've had a deeper, more meaningful conversation with them because I am feeling present and happier within myself. And that for me is also a win.
yeah. And you recently became a new father for a first time, and that was additional, let's say, responsibility besides your closing career, besides your manager's career. But now you had an additional um, responsibility on your back as a father, first timer, and as a husband as well at the same time. How do you manage to go through all of that responsibilities?
I'd say that's probably the biggest win of it all because that in itself, for anyone that's had a child, had a kid, they know it's not easy. And I think that if we hadn't done the work that we've done, I would have struggled more, right? Maybe not to the point of not being able to cope, but it would have been a lot more challenging, especially with the work that I do, if we hadn't been through our trainings. So for me, having to get up to support my partner, feed the baby throughout awkward hours of the night, and still having to show up to do my job the next day, feeling alive and feeling in a good state, having worked on this has prepped me and helped me in order to be able to sustain the performance that I want.
Yeah, when you deeply know inside that you are worthy and that you can do it with a deep confidence, that doesn't really matter how many tasks when and opportunities will going to pop up throughout the day. You just understand that it has to be no overthinking, no complaining, no externalizing problems and issues, and managing every single negative unwanted emotion if it shows up, getting rid of it like straight away, just because you're a clean slate, blank state where you get to create rather than to dwell on the past or just stay in unresourceful mode. Now, from a professional and personal perspective, what is it that the message that you would like to send to everyone that works in this industry or around this industry and is facing the similar challenges that you were facing in the beginning?
You don't know what you don't know, as they say, right? And the only way to discover what you don't know is to go deep and to break past the surface level understanding of yourself and and explore what's beyond that. And you'd be surprised what you learn. And talking a lot today about my professional performance, the success that I've had in that sense, like the biggest takeaway of it all is helping me become a better person. And me becoming a better person allows me to impact more people around me in my personal life. Shall I be a better husband, better father, and just all round live life on my terms in the way that I want to. So for anyone out there that has never thought to actually work on this side of things, I highly recommend it because you can work on the skill set, you can train, role play, do as much as you want in that side of things. But if you do not have the right foundation, you're selling yourself short, essentially. You're not going to be able to perform as well as you would like to, no matter how many role plays you do.
True. You know, many people are looking for a way out of their current situation, way out of where they are right now to take it to the next level, to next level, whatever that is, financially, relationships wise, just you know to get in growth. But the only way out is the way in, because nothing happens out there outside of you. Everything is constructed inside, within, through your lenses, through your filters, and through your perspectives. How do you perceive the world out there? And like Dr. Wayne Dyer always says, when you change the way how you look at things, the things you look at change. The entrancing ending of the conversation. Anyway, Justin, it was pleasure talking to you. It was pleasure working with you. It is pleasure working with you still, and co-creating these beautiful moments, this beautiful environment around us, and we continue growing together by going within and
Pleasure as
experience
always.
different results without.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
thank you. And yeah, guys, for everyone that is watching this, uh, I hope you got already a lesson by following this type of interviews, because your skill set will take you only as far as your identity, as your mindset, as your emotional state will allow it to. So you want to take it to the next level? You want to grow? You want to have effortless motivation without needing to jump in a cold plunge and get pumped out with techno music on your phone. It's then is the moment when you need to look within and discover what is it within me that's preventing me to experience the life I prefer. I will leave you with that thought. Justin, it was a pleasure having you, and I will see you very soon.